Hey Stitches, it's me, Fairy Godfather, also known as Matthew. This is my YouTube channel, Fairy Godfather Knits. Welcome or welcome back. It's so good to see you here. This is my first knitcast in a long time, almost 18 months. And I definitely felt it was time to come back. We've got the MCAL coming up soon. We've got Halloween coming up soon. There's so many exciting things going on. We're getting deep into fall knitting season, and I just wanted to be back. What I would like to do today, as I say, it's my first knitcast in a very long time. It's probably not going to be that long. I just want to start kind of filling in the gaps and filling in for you what I've been working on for the past year or so, and just some of the things that have been taking up my time when it comes to knitting and crafting. I don't know exactly how to structure this. It's going to be just a little bit organic and intuitive, but strap in, get a warm beverage, and follow me on some of my knitting successes and failures and everything in between from over the past year and a half. I won't be able to cover everything today, obviously, so it's just going to be a little taste of some of the things I've been working on. I thought a great place to start would be the sweater I'm wearing right now. This is the Elf Mail by Danny Miga. And if you've been a viewer of my channel for a long time, you'll know that this is the second one of these that I've made. The first one I made, I chose the wrong size. I'll put up this photo here. You've seen it before. It was just too small. And even with the magic of blocking, it was still too small. I ended up giving that one to a friend, my friend Holly, and it looks even better on them. And so that was just like a great learning process, but I still wanted to do the sweater. I wanted to make one for me, and I wanted to make one that fit. So I started again. The yarn for this, I should say, is primarily leftover yarn from this Stephen West MCAL shawl, which was the first one I ever did, which was the twists and turns in, I suppose, 2022. And I had a fair bit. For the MCAL, at least traditionally, I always get my yarn from Songbird Fibers, and this was a set that she made specifically for the MCAL. This is their cardinal colorway with a gray and this pink flamingo, which I really, really loved. And I had extra of all of them at the end. So it was like, what am I gonna do with these little bits of color that go so well together? And I knew I wanted to make this sweater again, so it was just a shoo-in for me. The black that you see is Holstgarn Coast. It is a cotton wool blend. I'm not sure what the colorway is. I mean, probably just black, but I'll check and put it up if I can. And so that was sort of the basis for this sweater. Hold on one moment. One of the things I have been consistent with on the channel over the past little while is my Let's Knit Together videos. They come out on the 15th of every month, and it's just me sitting somewhere and knitting with classical music playing, and it's a half an hour each time with a break in the middle for some stretches, and people can just join in and just have me there with them when they're doing knitting or crafting or whatever you like. You can see that I am working on this sweater in one of those videos last year. It's this one. So I have this in my lap, and it's what I'm actually working on in that video. Now, I did have a bit of an issue, and I did take some video explaining it, so I am going to cut to those clips now. Hey, I'm about to do some work on a sweater, and I just wanted to show it to you. So basically, I was playing Yarn Chicken as I was finishing this, and I ran out. And then I switched to this, which was the closest thing I had, which is a pure cotton, though. But the color actually is quite different of the gray, and it really shows. And I was just going to live with that. But I found more of this, which is what I was using, and it's what I ended up using on the sleeve here. I ran out of the pink flamingo. I switched to another gray fingering that I had, and then this, I think. Yeah. So, which is what I was using for this, I think, as well. Anyway, so it's not like I'm not going to pull this all out and reknit it. I am just going to thread this onto a needle, like go in and follow and fill it all in, and then pull this gray cotton out. That's my plan. So it's like doing duplicate stitch. I'm just going over top and following exactly where this yarn goes. So next is going to be a little under over there. And I'm just going along doing that. It's a bit painstaking, but it's easy enough. Okay, so I finished. That was kind of horrible. Can you see? So both are in there now. I'm about to try to take the cotton out. I saw that I was going to start at this end, but I saw that I tied it in a knot. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet. I'm going to start unpicking from this end, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I finished. Pretty much full success. There is a bit of a hole here, but there's no dropped stitch. So I think it's okay. It's right at the bottom, and it's on the back. Like, you know, I could put a little stitch in there, but I think it's not going to grow, and, you know, I don't think that's really that noticeable. And then on the inside, I have gotten to the point of the knot, and this is where I started putting in the new stuff today. So I don't know. I'm either going to just like tie a knot between these two, or I think I'm actually going to try to weave in both ends. And then I can block this. Hooray. So that was what happened. I was really happy to find that extra bit of yarn, and I was really happy that I actually made the effort to go in and change that out. So I am really happy with the fit that I ended up with. I don't know. I guess I'll have to stand up and walk around to show you. But I'm really happy with this. I wear it a lot. I wore it for my Christmas party last year, and it's just like, this is definitely a success, and I definitely feel really pleased with it, and I like the way it fits me. And this was one of my sort of more joyful knitting experiences over the past 18 months. So I just wanted to share that with you first. Once again, it is the Elf Mail by Danny Miga. Hi. Okay, so now maybe I will talk about some things that didn't work out. Oh, hold on. I need a prop that I've forgotten. Just one sec. So if you recall the last Knitcast number 12, I was staying in the Pacific Northwest with my brother and his husband. And that was kind of the last time we checked in this way, or the last time I spoke to you guys directly in a Knitcast. And I had so many plans at that time that did not really work out. So I am just going to share about them with you a little bit. So the first thing is that I'd been staying with them for some time, and I kind of wanted to send them like a thank you gift after I got home. So I had kind of been looking around their house. I'm going to throw up photos now. I'd been looking around their house and noticing that they had this sort of motif of mushrooms. So I'm going to put up pictures. And so everywhere you looked, there were like little mushrooms, little stained glass mushrooms, this mushroom mug, little wooden carved mushrooms, gemstone mushrooms, but no knitted mushrooms. And so I had this plan to knit them some mushrooms. So I had this idea to make them knitted mushroom things. So I'll share with you some of the patterns and some of the plans I had, but for whatever reason, I just I just never got around to any of these. They never even really got started. So the first one that's kind of exciting is called the Wee Mushroom Trio by Sarah Shira. And Sarah is the force, the imaginative genius behind Imagine Landscapes, which, as many of you will know, she puts out all these lovely gnome patterns. There's a couple gnome knit-alongs every year. Actually, maybe I should just do a little side thing about the gnomes for a second. So if you're not familiar, Imagine Landscapes is Sarah Shira's kind of like gnome empire. It is global. People love them. And I have yet to complete a gnome. I have some kind of block about it. I just haven't been able to do it so far, and it drives me crazy, and it makes me feel like a failure, and I'm gonna have to do it at some point. I'm considering doing it this October because there is a gnome knit along for October that looks really fun, but it's also the MCAL, and I have a lot of other stuff going on, and I just don't know that I'm setting myself up for success if I take on another knit along in October. Like, I just won't have capacity for it. I've done the MCAL enough times to know how much time it takes and to not put in anything extra like that. So I have yet to do a gnome. However, I was planning to do one last spring, summer. My brother and his husband have this gnome in their bathroom, and I thought it would be great to knit them a slightly larger version. So I got the pattern Choose Your Gnome Adventure, which allows you to really customize the gnome's like hat and beard and outfit and size. And I actually started. So this was as far as I got on my giant gnome that I thought would be a great complement to their bathroom gnome, seen photographed here. But yeah, I never got past this, and in fact, I'm gonna frog this. So I'll just do that while we're talking. So that was the gnome situation. I don't know what it is about them. Like, they're great patterns. Like I say, people love them. They're very popular, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. I haven't gotten into knitting cute little things, and I want to be into that, you know? So I thought maybe having it be bigger, like, so that the needles are bigger and everything, it's like not as fiddly in my hands, that this would help. But yeah, it just still didn't get me all the way there. And so no gnome. No new gnome. No new gnome knitted by me. Anyway, now transitioning back to the mushrooms, which was my other idea for something to send to Thomas and Kyle as a thank you for having me stay there. And so the same designer, Sarah Shira, put out this Wee Mushroom Trio. Isn't that adorable? Isn't that cute? Wouldn't that be fun in a variety of colors? Like, I was imagining making some like hot pink, like kind of like spacey ones. I was gonna make some brown ones just like that. And I thought if I made them a couple different sizes, that there'd be lots of little like knick-knacky nooks where they would be able to display it. And again, I just never got to it. I didn't even start with these, and I don't know why. And I had a multitude of mushroom patterns I was planning to try. So yeah, Wee Mushroom Trio was first. I also found this cool pattern called the Earl Grey Mushroom by Tatiana Grigorian. And you actually dye the cap of the mushroom with Earl Grey tea. Like, you choose a light color of yarn and you use it for the stem, and then you actually dye the yarn for the cap with the tea. I thought that was so cool. I was so excited to try it. Never did. And I also, oh, that's a bit bound off, isn't it? I also found these Circle of the Fae patterns. by Sophie Skinner, who is also known as Under the Willow Knits. And she has these Circle of the Fae mitts and Circle of the Fae socks. But they both feature mushrooms predominantly in the design, as hopefully you will see here. So I also thought about making them mitts and socks with the mushrooms on. And I also never did that. So I did really have a bit of a slump in the sort of late spring, early summer of 2024. It was the first time ever that I lost my knitting mojo, as people say. And I just wasn't inspired, and I wasn't picking up projects. And I don't know, it was a bit of a dark time, a bit of a strange feeling, and yeah, it had never happened to me before, and it hasn't really happened to me since. But it was the first, I was going like whole days without knitting, and like if you're not a knitter, or not that kind of knitter, that might sound funny to you, be like, oh, a whole day, but for me to go a day without knitting is pretty unusual. Sorry, I just need some help getting this started here. Yeah, so then like very quickly enough time had passed that it just seemed, I don't know, I just wasn't moved to pick up or finish or even start some of these projects. So yeah. Then from there, there's like another chapter in here that is going to just have to go missing because I was doing the Look at My Holes by James N. Watts. I'll put the pattern up here, but I don't have it. I just looked for it and I don't know where it is. And this slightly alarms me. You know, I'm pretty careful with all my knitted stuff. So, but it is black and it is small and it is slinky. And so it might be hiding in a bag or something. I kind of wear it as like a bathing suit cover, like when I'm swimming or at cottages and stuff in the summer. And so I may have just like not unpacked it from the bottom of a bag or something like that. But I will find it unless it's lost or, you know, stuck somewhere. And I will show it to you in a later episode. But I won't talk about it today because I don't have it to show you. There we go. All right, so yeah, Mr. Gnome is also getting frogged. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Oh, and while I'm frogging, that reminds me of another clip that I have of frogging that will also introduce the next project that I wanted to show you today. So let's roll that clip. Hi. So things are in a bit of disarray here. I am preparing to kind of be on the road for about 6 weeks. And the person who is the leaseholder in this apartment is coming back. So this means that I am rearranging a lot of furniture. I am having to sort of go through my stash and figure out what I want to be knitting on for the next 6 weeks so that I can bring that stuff with me. I have to figure out what to leave here and so on and so forth. So this has resulted in some decisions about frogging, and I need to film this now sort of like while it's happening, or else I won't do it or I won't get to it or whatever. So anyway, that's what this is. I'm wearing my Banaue Breeze. Banaue. I'll put it up like this. I don't know how you pronounce it. But I'm not going to talk about it right this second. I just don't know if I have mentioned it yet, but that's what this is. And I will talk about it on the Knitcast at some point. The first thing I'm deciding whether or not to frog is this. And this, I mean, I'm not sure how you would be able to tell unless you are familiar with it. is the start. You kind of see the start of a bulge. It is the start of a jock pattern. It is this one, by Jamie McCandless, I believe. And I started it like 2 years ago. I remember exactly where I was when I was working on it. I was just working on other things at the same time. I got a little bit confused. I felt like this band was way too thick, although it seemed to be right. So I just wasn't feeling confident about it. I've not knit a jock before. I've not even really worn jocks before, but I think I'm kind of coming into my jock era, and I would really like to knit some. But this just isn't going to be the one. So I am going to frog this right now. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Here I am in the Banaue Breeze that you were just introduced to. As I probably mentioned, it is a Stephen West pattern, and this is something that I was also working on last summer, so summer of 2024. My friends and I did something on Labor Day of 2024 that we called a fairy picnic. I'll throw up some photos from that. And this was what I wanted to wear for that. Or, you know, if you've been watching me for a while, I often will have like an event in my future and I'll think, okay, I want to wear something handmade to that event. I want to wear something I made to that event. I want to make something for that event, and then I will try to knit something for it. It often does not work. I just tend to really underestimate how long things take, or like the capacity that I'll have to finish things in a certain amount of time. But oh well, you know, there's always like another event or next year or whatever. So anyway, we had long been wanting to have this fairy picnic, and we finally did it last year, and I wore this, as I'm saying. So I put up pictures of my outfit and some of the other outfits. There was a sort of wide variety of interpretations of fairy. Is it a dark fairy? Is it a light fairy? Is it a pixie? Is it, you know, there's like a lot in the fairy kingdom, as you may or may not know. But I thought that this kind of gave that like, I don't know, fairy vibe that I was going for. So here's what I like about it, okay? I like the depth of the V. I like the cut. I like how it sits. It makes me feel like if I did push-ups and had a bit more of a chest, like, you know, there'd be something fun there happening. And I like the sleeves and I like the drape. Okay, what I don't like, I don't know if I can get this on camera, is that like as soon as I lift my arms, it's like up to my nipples. And like that just happens with a lot of things. It happens with a lot of round yoked sweaters. If you've seen, like, there's been a lot of discussion recently about the herring sweater by Boylan Knitworks. Is it called the herring sweater? Anyway, it has a very deep yoke. And so, you know, some people were saying like, yeah, it looks cute in photos and it's fine if you keep your arms down, but the second you need to like lift your arms or do anything, it like changes the fit, it changes the look, and you have issues. I've had this happen before with like a few other, there are some sweaters like that, and it's frustrating. Like, I mean, you could just have a really, really, really long body. That's like one way to sort of avoid it, so that like even when you lift up that much, it's not revealing anything. Look, I'm like trying to embrace crop tops and embrace my belly and embrace all of that. It's not about like body shame necessarily. It's just that like, I don't know, you're just like not always in situations where you can show that much skin, or like you're not always in situations where that is appropriate. The other thing is like, as I have found with several other pieces, like this is nothing about the pattern or the yarn or anything like that. It's just like, I don't think people understand how hot and humid it is in Toronto or in like a lot of places. So again, like when I was in the Pacific Northwest last summer, or last spring, it like knitwear suddenly made a new kind of sense to me, because like you could wear something like this to the beach, or you could wear other like mohair or lightly knitted things, because there'd be such a breeze from the ocean, there would be such a range of temperatures, that even in the sun, even on hot days, it's still like cold enough or windy enough that you need wool and you need that sort of comfort. This in like Toronto Labor Day weather is just still too hot. And it's not even, I don't even think it's pure wool. I don't have a clue what this is anymore. Actually, I think it's from Cabin Boy Knits. But I do think it has some silk in it. Oh yeah, so I forgot. I have more video of this too, because there were issues in the construction. I made mistakes. So let me roll those clips right now. Okay, so just to try to explain the mistake without giving away too much of the pattern, basically when I was at this point, which was still in the round, I missed a little bit of the instruction that told me to knit to this, yarn over and stop, and then section 2 started here. So all of this is essentially a mistake. Like it's all supposed to be on this side. It would have shaped differently. I now have the wrong shape and I can't continue. So I have to pull out this to here, which goes like, it's not in the round anymore, but it goes like to the other side. So I basically have to pull back to that point where it was in the round and do the whole second section over again. And so this is the other side of it. So luckily, like this whole part of the cord is on the right row. And because it has like binding off on both sides, it should be fairly easy to get it down to the right row and still pick up all the right stitches. All right, here we go. Are you ready? I think it's gonna help that this yarn has silk in it. I think that just makes it a little bit more slippery. Okay, it's a little hard to do this one-handed, so I'm gonna have to take a break and show you in a bit. So that was part of the process of making this. I'm not sure what to do from here, to be honest. Like, I don't wear it very often because of that thing I'm saying. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's like, I don't know when in my life to like have a garment like that. And it's also hot, you know what I mean? So like I almost might wear it as pajamas in the winter. Like I could see myself wearing it around the apartment with sort of like pajama bottoms or loose bottoms or no bottoms at all. And it would keep me warm. But yeah, it's not like, for the climate of where I live, it is not a particularly useful summer garment. And I feel like I can only wear it with very specific like crowds of people or to very specific places, because of the way it fits. I tried, I think in the fairy picnic, I do have a tank top on under it, which of course is something I can do, but then that's an extra layer then, right? And then like it also, like the straps don't look as good, with the V and the cut and the shape of it. So it was like a medium for me. Like I'm glad I tried it. It was an interesting process to knit. It's an interesting construction. Like you do the two halves and then you sew the middle, and then you do the collar and the edges. I was like happy to use up this yarn. I like this color and I like lots about the way it looks, but it's like a medium for me. It's like a middle of the road. I wouldn't probably knit it again, unless I was using like a pure plant fiber or something like that. Then maybe I would, but I think honestly, like I think I would change the shaping because, at the end of the day, it's just too cropped for me, and 2, it just rises up too much. So anyway, this was another knitting thing that I did in 2024. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it there for now. This feels like a good place to start. Thank you so much for joining me again. And like I say, I am really planning to sort of ramp things up with the channel. The MCAL is coming. It starts on Thursday, October 2nd. So I will have a video this Thursday about sort of picking my colors and my impressions of what we know so far. Then the following Thursday, I will have a video about some other Stephen West shawls that I've done that I haven't shown you yet. And then I guess October 9th will be my sort of Clue 1 video. And it'll go from there. But I'm also planning to post shorts on Wednesdays. And I am going to post my regular Fairy Godfather Knitcast and other content on Tuesdays. So that is my plan for at least the next 6 weeks. I don't know if I will for sure be able to do it, but that is what I'm hoping and what I am going to try for. I have lots more to tell you about things I have been up to in the past 18 months, knitting and otherwise. And I'm just so happy to be back and creating this content again because I love doing it, and I love especially reading your comments and seeing your reactions and talking to you guys who I've missed so much. So thanks again, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you soon. Until then, happy knitting. Bye.